All right, so we are live. Just take a deep breath and just get centered. So that was good. Hello and welcome to Hope Goes Live, brought to you by Hope for Women magazine. And today I am joined with the founder of Hope for Women magazine, celebrating 15 years, and the author of Yes Sisters, Angelia Whitestone. Welcome, Angelia.
Good morning. Good morning.
And now we are continuing with this sisterhood series with the Yes Sister book and the Yes Sister panel. And I'm also joined, in addition to Angelia, two of Angelia's Yes Sisters. Yes Sisters is a Facebook group also of women, and we have two representing that group, Marita and Latara. And I want to welcome both of you.
Welcome,
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're going to get to know everybody a little bit better. And just to give you an idea of what we're going to talk about today, we're going to hear from Angelia sharing with us why her mission is to speak hope into women and encourage and inspire them. And we're going to learn about that and why she wrote Yes Sisters and what this whole phenomenon of Yes Sisters is all about. And I just want to take a moment publicly to say that Angelia, what came out of coronavirus and COVID-19 for me was Hope Goes Live.
Well, you've done an amazing job.
Yes.
And this is something that I've always wanted to do and have available on Hope. I love being in the background. I'm okay. So, but when you said, well, we need you to come on live sometime, I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. But it's okay with knowing when someone else has a gift and a calling to do. We just need to be in our lane. This is your lane. This is your gift.
I know, Angelia, you're a very positive person, but what's going on in your world?
I know I had shared a post how it kind of freaked me out. I didn't think that I would have so much anxiety, but I did. But that's where my Yes Sisters came in and said, girl, we're going to pray through this and just ask God to, to protect us. And I had one. I think I had shared it or I'd seen something on Latara's page, but I had went to my mom's house and she put all this blessed oil on my head. I had enough to come home and rub some on Jordan and put on my doorpost.
Yes.
But I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Staying in, following the orders, and just, trying to stay positive through everything.
We've got Evelyn Joy watching with you. Vita, hi Latara, looking fabulous. Sherry Hunter, good morning, ladies. Stephanie, hello everyone. They're saying hi to you, Angelia. So Tanya, our editor-in-chief of Hope for Women magazine, she's watching. So the ladies are coming on now, and depending on where you are, it could be super early. It could be from 7 or 9 or of course, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So welcome. Angelia, if you would share with us, how do you know Marita? Let's welcome Marita.
Hello. Hey, Marita. Well, I met Marita through a mutual acquaintance, maybe it was 2015. I believe it was the summer of 2015. And she has one of those personalities. That's how I know that she leaves an impression and a mark in your life, a footprint. And I still remember her from that summer that I had just transitioned and decided to leave my marriage, and I was staying at my mom's, and she was that girlfriend that was like, girl, you got to pull it together. I didn't have any office, and she's like, girl, you better get on IKEA. You better fix up that little corner of your mama's house like it's your office and you get to work. And I did. And that is Marita.
Wow. Welcome, Marita. How are you?
Thank you. I am doing well. Angelia, that was exactly how it happened. She called, we would chit chat, and I said, God put it on my heart to, kind of really find out who you are. I knew nothing about her. And she started sharing her life. And I literally was like, okay, you can go get this white table, put some legs on it. You can use your mom's chair, like go to the garage. We put that office together because at that moment she was like, should I even be doing anything? And I'm like, oh yeah, I do a million things at once. So you're talking about writing a book, keeping things going with the magazine. Girl, get up, get some lipstick on.
But tell us what you do.
So I am a mother of 6 blended children, 5 spouses, 6 grandchildren, and 4 grandfers. And my children live all over the world: Japan, New Orleans, Texas, Kentucky, Kansas, not Kentucky, Kansas, I know it's okay, and Kansas. Um, let's see, I've been married 20 years this year. I have a 17-year-old son, football star, 4.2. He got a letter from Yale. Let's keep going. Proud parent, proud wife. I have a wonderful husband. I hear him upstairs walking around. He dare not come down those steps. You may see him pass by, who knows. On top of all of that, I've been an interior designer 26 years, a life coach for 13 years, an author of a series of girlfriend books, journals. I'm a chandler, which means I do candles. I have my own candle company, new candle line coming out soon.
Yeah.
I am a dear girlfriend where I love to do Bible studies and share life with women. That's my heart. That's my heart and soul.
So, Angelia, would you introduce the awesome Latara to us as well?
Miss Latara Venice, and she holds a lot of weight. She would probably be, she definitely is probably the second, other than my mama, ultimate forever yes sister. She's the first yes sister, the second yes sister other than my mom. Then they probably running a close race. I actually met Latara 15 years ago, and this beautiful jewel is the reason, and she helped me basically get Hope for Women moving and off the ground.
Wow.
Yeah.
Welcome, Latara.
First editor,
Hey.
first editor, first girlfriend, first person to ever fall out. I had a falling out with.
Yeah.
So when I had to apologize, I used to do a lot of repenting.
Praise God. Yeah.
We loved each other, and she's still here after 15 years. Yeah.
Nice. Welcome, Latara. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I live in Oklahoma. I have 2 sons. And a mother. I always say a mother because I'm her caretaker. Really, I say a mama, not a mother. I have 2 sons and a mama. My oldest son, he's 27, and he just moved to Illinois. He's been hired as a recreational pastor for a church out in Illinois. My youngest son is 16. Ready to drive, but this whole COVID thing is like, we can't even take you to get a permit. So he's not too happy about that. And I serve people as a soul care provider. I really help people to get their soul in order and their emotions intact. That's what I do. But that's come from all of my years. I had a lot of years where I was on the other side of sanity. So, like for real, on the other side of sanity. Angie knows some of them days. And I just serve people the way that the Lord tells me to serve them. I'm just simply his vessel. I help people walk in what they're supposed to be doing every day. That's just how I live.
Wow. I am very clear on why God brought us all together. It is almost, it's amazing the synergy of our backgrounds and what we do. And that was what was happened with me and Angelia. Tanya Sherrill, editor-in-chief, just told me a little bit about Angelia, and she was like, you don't understand, you guys are kindred spirits just in your life and the challenges that you're facing and with the things that you want to give birth to. It's like we're all midwives. This is what I always say. It's like we're midwives to women giving birth while we're giving birth. Right. Could you imagine that? Like a group of women pregnant, giving birth at the same time. Here you go, girl. Here's a little bit. Put this over your head. Hop in the water. And that's what it feels like. So welcome, my sisters. Let's relax and just be ourselves and unfold this. So what we're going to talk about is Hope for Women and the Yes Sister book. And Angelia, take a few moments to share with us about your mission and why you founded Hope for Women and why you say in your book that your mission and your goal is to speak hope in order to empower and inspire women. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I started Hope, was it May? I think it was May 2005. And the purpose for Hope was to, and actually wasn't even Hope at that time. I think it was Virtuous Women. That's what I think I started the magazine called as Virtuous Women. And it started off as a newsletter to go to 50 or 100 women. And I just wanted to bring women together. I think we all had similar stories. I didn't know what that looked like. I knew we had similar stories. We were on a journey. I knew I was on a journey. I started a journey. I didn't know what a journey was, but I needed to figure it out. And so, I had spoke to a mentor at that time, and he helped me figure out what the title was. And he said, what is it that you're trying to accomplish? And then as I began to dig deep and to find out, to realize what I wanted is that I wanted to provide hope for women. And that was just it, because I myself was in a place where I needed hope. So why I'm trying to figure this out, why I'm trying to figure out if it's a newsletter, if it was a magazine, whatever. I wanted to bring women along with me on this journey. Now, I didn't know what the beginning, I can kind of see the beginning and what I wanted the end to look like, but I had no clue what the middle was going to look like. Whew.
You know what's so beautiful about that? As we have in common that we can sense when people, and we help guide people on in their path of their purpose. Mm-hmm. Latara and Marita, as life coaches and as a soul, soul work that we do, didn't she just come to life when she started talking to it?
Yeah.
It's like you could see the blood pumping from your feet all the way to your head and your head down to your feet. And literally, it wasn't just the Zoom filter that we all have on. It was like something came to life inside of you.
And Kim, I didn't know for so long. It's really something for you to say that and to be able to identify that in me, because there was a long time when I didn't know what that was. It was over the process of time that I had to get here to be able to know, to have that confidence to know, okay, this is where I'm at. And it kind of goes over into why I did Yes Sisters, is for me to be able to become vulnerable, to be strong, to be brave, to be able to share with other women, of these other women that empowered me when I was at my lowest of lowest. I was depressed. I just was bound. I was stuck. I didn't know how to get unstuck. But these women, piece by piece, helped put me together.
I love that. And there's something about being in our purpose, I'm getting chills thinking about it, that gets us through. It gets us through anything, really. It can get us through. I am a witness that it can get you through anything. And what I hear you saying is, we have God. We can get through our purpose. All things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. And so we can make it through by ourselves. There has been times that I had to go through my journey, and even the people that loved me were sort of blocked because I was in a God-ordained social distance. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But I love it when he opens the door and allows my sisters to come with me. You can see when he just opens it up. And what I hear you saying is, boy, oh boy, how much more fun and exhilarating and beautiful it is when we can go on that journey. And you say that Yes Sisters is about surrounding yourself with women who affirm, women who encourage, and women who challenge you. And you were describing Marita and Latara and many others in that vein. And so what I hear you really saying is this journey of discovery you were able to go on with your sisters. And that's why you started Yes Sisters.
Absolutely.
I love that. Marita, let's check in with you. How are you doing through stay at home? Are you working from home and things like that? And then I know that you also did contribute to the book, Yes Sisters. So tell us a little bit about that as well. How are you doing? And then what was your contribution to the book?
I am doing well. I work from home. And so it wasn't different for me. The only part is just knowing that, okay, I don't really have a place to go. You know, it's only so many times you can go to essentially pick up groceries. And then we got to the point, you know, here at the house, I don't do groceries every day. I don't do a grocery list. Something my husband probably wish I did. I don't fill the refrigerator. I don't fill the pantry. I go get food the day that I want to cook. And then otherwise, with one 17-year-old son at home, it's like, here's some money, go to your favorite chicken place or whatever. It may sound crazy, but I do cook from time to time. So what it did, and I'm glad you asked that because I don't post a lot of stuff. I like to be real and speak it out. I started cooking again, and I started cooking big meals. And then I started overeating. So the overeating caused this pain in my belly, and I was down for 2 days. I'm back up doing my hot teas. I don't want to eat anymore. Sometimes I feel like food is like, it can like take you out. Like food can really take you out if you're, you know, my daughter was like, well, Mom, you cooked baked beans, potato salad, 3 different meats, potato chips, macaroni and cheese. And she was like going down my list, and I was like, stop. And guess what? I ate every bit of it, and I felt horrible. So I'm back on my 4-mile walk. I'm trying to make the best of it by using my purpose. I put a well check out there and told women all over the world through Facebook and Instagram, I'm here, call me if you want to talk outside of my normal clients. Yeah. So I still work. I clean a lot more. We've done more. Thinking about the future, calling and checking in on my friends. I do a Monday talk, and I said, you know, it says I have 2,500 friends. And I think 8 have checked in on me, and I just crack up laughing. It's like, what does this mean, friends on Facebook? I expected all 2,600 of them to at least check with me and see if I'm doing good. But you know what? It was the Yes Sisters that checked in. You know, Angelia checks in all the time. I love her so much. And I'll say whenever she check in, I'll go, you didn't check on me. I was just about to call you. It's always like back to back. And so when this whole journey, thank you, this journey started with her 2015-ish. And I remember her coming out of her shell, if we want to call it a shell, her cocoon or whatever you want to call it. But I knew that what she was doing at the time she was doing it and the conversation she was having was that it was so much more. So in the book, there's different chapters on how Angelia put out how her Yes Sisters are there for her. And the concept is amazing. And it gives all the Yes Sisters a chance to express something important to them and how another sister was important to them. And my chapter in the book, under a word from a Yes Sister, I love that, is believing without seeing. That's the chapter that I'm in. And it's, when I think about a Yes Sister I never met, B. Baylor comes to mind. And I can tell this story without reading it, but I wanted to read the first sentence. It's here in the book. And it was a sister that you never met. And B. Baylor is a person that I knew of her, but I didn't know her at all. Like, I knew her name. I really didn't know who she belonged to as far as family members, but I just knew of her through coaching. And there was this one afternoon or morning, I want to say morning, we were getting ready for church and I get a phone call, like literally my phone rings. And I'm like, hello? And I normally don't answer calls that I don't know, but it was one of those moments like, pick the phone up. And I'm thinking, we're getting ready for church. This is like crazy. And I answer the phone and I hear this very, very deep, raspy voice. And she goes, hi, Marita. And I go, hi. And it was a pause. And she goes, you don't really know me. I know of you, but I want to talk to you later on when we come from church. You know, I'm getting my mom dressed for church and I want to talk to you. And I'm like, for what? You know, in my mind, I didn't say that to her. I could tell her voice was older and my mom said, respect your elders. But I'm like, for what in my mind? And I'm looking at my husband. I'm like, this lady's calling me. It's like, she's this big time coach, you know, and what does she want to say to me? And so we hung up, we went to church. I'm like praying all at church, like, what is this woman gonna tell me? Like, what's going on? You know, and so I get back home from church. She calls, I call her back, or she calls me, however we got on the phone. And she says, look, I've been praying and I've been watching you, and you didn't know I've been watching you, and God told me to tell you something. And what she told me changed my entire life. And I'm like, God, you use someone that don't even probably pronounce my name correctly or just know who I am as a woman, but you used her to tell me this.
Wow.
And at that time, I was getting ready to make a huge decision that would have changed my entire life. I'm talking about my entire being as a woman. And she just said it. I need you to walk away from that. That's what God told me to tell you. I'm like, are you sure? And she was sure. I was sure. I prayed about it, stuck in there a little bit. Things were going downhill fast. And I have to remember that God uses people, to tell you something. And I've been used to tell people. So one morning I just woke up and I was like, you know what? She's right. It wasn't. And only God knew that. Like if you ever, there's Mr. Brown, if you ever had that happen to you and someone just like tells you something and you think they're crazy or you think that something's out of order, that, like I said, birthed divine order course in me to give back to women, because it just, what is that word we use? Confirm that God is who he is in my life.
That is so profound. I want to let Mr. Brown know that we can't see you at the kitchen, just so don't do anything too weird back there. So I haven't realized that. Sometimes we catch it again. I love that, because Angelia, what I hear Marita saying is a yes sister could be a stranger.
Absolutely.
I was thinking it was, someone that you knew that was a close friend. Let me just pause and catch the audience up to what is a yes sister. And you must get a copy of the book so that you too can be so inspired. I literally, I don't know if I laughed, but I smiled, I cried, I caught the Holy Ghost. Like I did all that while I was reading all the stories, seriously.
Yeah.
So, but the opening tells you what is a yes sister and what it is not. And I want to just pause and do that. And then after that, Latara, we're going to come to you. What is a yes sister? She isn't always the one saying you should do this or you should do that, or correcting your grammar. But she will tell you if you have broccoli in your teeth. She is a woman in your circle who believes in you, who offers encouragement, insights, love, and wonder. She is honest, encouraging, a confidant, trustworthy, loving, fun, nurturing, positive, and uplifting. She is not catty, haughty, two-faced, lazy, selfish, or passive-aggressive, gossiping, abuse flattery, nitpicking mistakes, or strive to be seen as superior to you. Just a little like clap for that and snap for that, Angelia. I love that. And it's so true. When we first came on, a little bit of behind the scenes, we got Angelia's camera set up. It took like literally, she trusted us 4 or 5 things, and it's like perfect now. You can see the little clock, you see the little books. Truth be told, we said change your shirt, put on black. So we did a pajama jam, and Angelia's like, you all don't look like you have in your pajamas. I'm like, yeah, we do, but we do have on our lipstick. The agreement that I have with Angelia, because look, ladies, we can't be out getting our hair done and stuff. It was wear your bun, And so she stuck to it. But the thing about it was, we wanted to make sure that we shined the light on her. And this was her moment. Marita told me, don't slouch. Okay, there you go. Don't slouch no matter what. Get that together. There you go. Latara came on. We could see she had that commanding presence. I felt immediately like, we had a boss lady in the room. And so my point is simply that it was wanting each other to shine and be the best. We had one yes sister that popped on, and she was like, you guys, I'm not even gonna hamper the situation. I can't get my camera right. I can't get my audio right. I'll come on next time. I'm not even gonna mess this up. And she hopped off. If that is not a yes sister, that's like saying, girl, my attitude is not right today, so let me just check up off of here and not even spoil the party. Like, wow.
Yeah.
My life, I was a mess, and I couldn't even pretend in a lot of cases, because so many of you have that discernment of spirit. that I couldn't just pretend like I had it all together. I'm not that person. What you see really is what you get. And I really needed women in my circle and to be at the table or in my on my row, what have you, is that were okay with me who I was. They started sharing stories. I'm like, what? So I'm not the only one that has really had to start over. And to when Marita, when I moved into my apartment, I moved here, me and Jordan, and I had an air mattress in one bedroom and an air mattress in the other, didn't have no cable. And I first, because I had that group of yes sisters and some men that said, girl, you gotta get out your mama's house. You gotta learn how to stand on your own 2 feet. Ooh. And they helped me. They weren't just saying you need to do X, Y, Z. Maria's like, girl, what you buy that white clock for? That don't contrast with your wall. You need this brown clock. That's why I got it. She said, you need something brown.
I'm starting to understand more what yes sister means. You know, they're in your corner, they're there for you. Latara, so how are you doing through the stay at home? Do you normally work from home? You know, how does that work for you? And then share with us your contribution to Yes Sister.
Well, I tell everybody this is easy for my family because this is us every day. I work from home. My son is homeschooled. My mama's retired. So it's been really easy for me. The hardest part is when I want to go somewhere and it's like, I can't go. Right. But as long as I got my garden and my patio and I'm straight, I'm just at that place where I'm just straight. We already do a lot of ordering of groceries and things like that simply because of how we live. And so I've just been like, I'm cool. I don't, yeah. Since where I've been, I'm cool. I'm straight. You know, it's funny because as you guys were talking, I was thinking about when I first met Angie. And she came into some inbox. We were on some writers thing or something, and Faith Writers, I think it was. This was 2005. And I'm like, who is this woman and what does she want? But I remember when I met her, I was like, this girl has a mission and I don't know what it is. And God, there's a reason why you told us to do this together. And what I found was that we were our lives were so aligned in so many ways, from marriage to just how we felt about each other and or how we felt about ourselves, right? And how we dealt with it, because Angie was super shy and she was just this very timid individual, but you could see so much power in her. And you know, and here I am. I wasn't necessarily timid, but I was a bit different because I was on the other side of sanity. Let's just put that right where it is. And so when the whole thing started and began to come to life, I was like, wow, this is gonna really go somewhere. You know, and over time things shifted, like we said, and what I'm learning about a yes sister is, you know, Angie and I don't talk every day.
We don't have to.
We talk maybe once or twice a year, but if she asks me for something, I'm there. If she needs it, I'm there. Right?
It makes up for all the time, Latara, we used to talk every day.
Every day. At one time we talked every day, but I think that's because we needed each other so much in that time. It was about more than the magazine.
We really needed each other.
We needed each other because we were both in miserable spaces. And so to watch how we both grown, man, y'all don't even know. I'll probably shout, holler, and scream when I'm trying to. But I'm telling you, when I see where she is, and I still hear that shyness a little bit because that's just her natural inclination, but she's a powerful individual. And when she speaks, even though you hear a little bit of shaking, a little shyness, you hear the power of what she's doing. And that's just phenomenal. And the way that she's brought so much hope. So when she asked me to write, I was like, well, yeah, okay, well, Angie, what you want me to talk about? And the topic was dreaming for each other. And it was so funny because at that time, she was dreaming for me and I was dreaming for her, because she was like, well, you can do this. You can do this. You can write this article. And then when she started telling me to interview people, like famous people, I was like, you want me to do what? You can do this, Latara. She was always pushing and I was always pushing her. I was in a narcissistically controlled marriage. That's what I was in. So I didn't even know how to dream for myself. I didn't even know how to think for Latara, right? And so that was just a catalyst to remind me, wow, we do dream for each other, right? And even getting out of my marriage was way worse than being in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that right there, I didn't know how to dream. All I could do was obey what God was telling me to do. But I had yes sisters, had these women pushing me and dreaming for me and saying, hey, I had this dream about you, or hey, I got this prophetic word for you. It was really powerful for me to be able to see dreams through other people.
When you say that Angelia still has some, shyness, now looks like humility.
Mm-hmm.
It is probably your most beautiful quality, that you are not all full of yourself. It makes so much sense now to me. When I hear you through your yes sisters that have known you for years, it just makes so much sense. This strength and this gentleness, I understand. It's gonna make me tear up. Why you called it a virtuous woman at first? That's who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And we need more of them. I used to just want to be more like Sarah with a gentle, quiet spirit. I'm like, Lord, I have a gentle, quiet spirit, right? He's like, baby, you don't quite have that. Isn't it ironic, though, that as soon as you got ready to launch your book, here comes the snake. Here comes the devil is a liar. Here comes coronavirus slithering up to possibly cause you to go back in your shell like these ladies are describing. So what was that when you had to decide, no, I'm still going to move forward? What was that like for you?
Oh, wow, that's good, Kim, because I did have that thought. I had ordered all these books. I had got to this defining moment to have this book celebration gathering, and to be honest, I was okay. I just said, whatever, if your will is, God, I was okay. There was such a peace. And I think a lot of that at ease and calmness came through my new editor-in-chief. It's just, and she also worked with me as my publicist as well.
Tanya Sherrill.
Hey, Tanya. And she just said, don't worry about it. This is something we'll continue to work on. And like, she made comments and, will share with me that this is something that you can have for years to come. It's a brand. And then she started telling me about, I got to introduce you to Kim, and I was okay.
What I think we can say, ladies and audience, is she did just write a book called Yes Sisters, and she is not just the founder of Hope for Women magazine. You embodied the principles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And spiritually, what I always hear and believe is that we go through these series of what can feel like just traumatic experiences, and we can go through post-traumatic growth. Ladies, you like that? We can talk a whole series on that. Post-traumatic growth, it's still traumatic, right, Latara? What you went through was traumatic. Marita, what you described was traumatic. What I've been through, what you've been through. That growth, though, allows us to take it, put it in our backpack. I respect Erykah Badu that we have to let the bags go, but there's a certain bag you keep.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then I can pull it out and go, I've been through this, and I've been through that, and I can get through this, and this is how I got through that, and let me remember it. So you applied the principles, and at probably one of the most critical moments when you could have went back into your turtle shell, you didn't. She's like a little turtle that stood up on 2 feet. Did you picture it with the little belly, the little hard belly there? Like, I'm not gonna go back in my shell, I'm gonna stand up. And I love that. So the question that we're posing now is, why is it so important for us to be yes sisters and yes brothers now more than ever?
Well, me being who I am, I have often looked at different women who are small business owners or they need encouraged. I've had opportunities to be able to sow into their business because I know what that's like. And soon as I'm there, I'm going to Cash App this sister. Wow. Then I have people order my book. So it comes back around to you, it's instead of thinking about how I can win, but how I can always try to help my sister win as well. So that's what I've been trying to do, is how can I help someone else, you know? So, yeah.
One one of the things I will say, when you mentioned earlier about at such a time as this, we use our purpose. And my main purpose that I know at the age of 50 is that I love to pray for women. But prayer is like my thing, it's my purpose. And I love being a prayer warrior. My purpose at this time is what's getting me through.
And a couple of weeks ago, my mom just had surgery at the beginning of, just before we got on lockdown and everything. She had total hip replacement. So I've been two people for, for almost 6 weeks, right? And I had a friend contact me and she said, what do you guys need? And I had just said, God, I need to order some meat and I need to order this. I said, but I'm funny about people picking my meat, right? I like to go to the grocery store for that myself. And she called me and I said, well, you know, we need some meat. And I've learned through all of this thing not to deny somebody else's blessings by saying, I don't need it. You know, I don't need anything. But that's silly humility. And when somebody says, do you need something? And you need it, you say, this is what I need.
Wow.
So I told her what I needed. And all I wanted was, you know, I said, just get us some meat. You know, we need this, this, and this. She said, okay, I'm going to just leave it on your front porch. Well, she went and bought all this other stuff I didn't ask for, but it was a blessing because yes, I could afford it, but here's somebody saying, what do you need? And because she knew I was up in here with my mom and I have my son and, you know, he eats everything. And so, and then some. And so that was such a blessing for me to have her go and get over and above what I asked, right? And I was just like, we don't have any masks and gloves. I got to order those. And then she left me some of those too.
I had another aha moment regarding Yes Sister. I think at first I thought that it's somebody else saying yes to you. Angelia, I just had an epiphany that it's when they reach out to give you advice, course correction, support, you actually say yes back to them.
Yeah.
Because that's the hard part. Here's what I'm going to say, let's do. Do what you do. Let's go backwards this time. Latara, get us centered. What does it mean that you're like a soul worker? What does that mean? And do it for us. Let us feel it.
Okay. Something that came to me as you were saying that was, I teach these keys for a lifestyle of soul care. And the top 5 are always about, that's how you center yourself. And the other 7, if you get those top 5, the other 7 come with no problem. So I just want to share those top 5. And that's always to seek the kingdom first, seek kingdom first. And the second thing is to know your identity. If you notice, they'll go in order. Because if you know God, then you'll know your identity. And after you know your identity, assess your values. What do you believe? Because a lot of people don't know what they believe. And in this time, a lot of people are confused. And then once you know what you believe, prioritize that so that it matters. And then finally know what you need. Because if you got the other 4, then you know what your needs are, right? And be encouraged that it's okay to need something. That's our biggest setback.
Having your mind, body, and home in divine order, meaning this is a time to get your home in order. It is so important. Like, there's no reason why your house shouldn't be clean. I'm just one of those women right now. You're there. You're there. You can't get out and get totes. Put it all in one room if it takes that until you can go through that. But right now, it's a time to keep things in order. I believe that, you know, they say cleanliness is next to godliness. It's not a scripture, but it's the truth. It is the truth. I can't imagine not having things in order for me to be able to just grab.
I think the thing that where I'm at now is that just love who you are. You are amazing. And just really being able to identify that just who you are is just amazing. You know, sometimes we want to try to be like the next person, but just be you.
Thank you all for participating, and we will see you next time on Hope Goes Live.
Hi, everybody.
Bye, everybody.